The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to today's Platinum webinar with your host, Todd Walters.
Thank you, Andrea. Okay, as most of you know, the third Tuesday of just about every month for the last several years, I carve out about an hour and I interview one of our members that's using our system, the Craig Proctor system, in quotation marks, the millionaire agent system, and is doing an outstanding job. Typically a multi-millionaire agent. And these are always really good webinars because you get to see and hear it from members like you, same perspective, was at one point where many of you are and many of you aren't right now. So it's great to see how it's working and what they're doing with the system here, implementation, speed of implementation, what's going on. So today's special guest, I got to tell you about this guy. He always, whenever I talk to him, he makes my day better. He's always got a great, cheerful spirit. I just never hear anything negative out of this man and the people that he works with. So I'll get back to him in just a moment. On the screen is our advertisement for the Platinum OSA workshop coming up July 7th, 8th, and 9th. And I got to tell you, after today's webinar, I'm probably going to pull it down, pull it right off the coaching site. You won't be able to see it anymore because we have a limited space here of only about 185 seats. And typically we're able to put 200, 300, 400 people into a Platinum OSA workshop quite easily just from the sheer demand of it. Now, if you've never been to a Platinum OSA workshop, well, let me reverse it. If you have, I don't need to say anything about it. You know how good these are. As a matter of fact, our special guest today, he tells me that he's got a group of agents that are coming. 3 of them are, just started with him. So that's a great thing to do. Imagine getting your outside sales agents in front of me and me pretending like they just joined my team and they don't know anything, taking them from that point over 3 days to a point of they know everything now. They're ready to go. They will sell more houses as a result of that. So here's what you want to do. Okay, if you've never been, let me just kind of give you just a couple of minute overview of what this is all about. Okay, day one, well, let me back up and say it this way. Imagine yourself just joining my real estate sales team, okay? And that's kind of where we start. Here's where the leads come from. Here's what happens when the leads show up. The marketing that we do need to stay on topic and on theme with direct response marketing when you're making the callbacks. Here's the scripting. Here's the process. Here's how it works to get appointments. Here's what you do at appointments. Here's what you do after the appointments. Here's what you do to get the client to buy now. Here's what you get the seller to list at your price. Here's how you deal with all the objections. Here are the presentations. Here's all the objections. Here's how you make more money per transaction. Here's how you get more referrals, more testimonials. Okay, leverage the client's business to get more business. I mean, it's almost the entire system. Okay, so it's that good over the course of 3 days. So July 7th, 8th, and 9th, taking place right here where I am in Atlanta, Georgia, specifically Marietta, Georgia, at the Commissions Inc. Training Center. We're going to be using their space as much as we can. So they've allowed us to do it here on this time. So get to the coaching site and get registered. Go to craigproctorcoaching.com and get registered for that, craigproctorcoaching.com. Click on the Schedule and Events tab, okay? And I put the agenda there as well. You can take a look at that. As a matter of fact, I'll probably should just walk you there. All right, here we go. Here we are, craigproctorcoaching.com. See that? Schedule, events, schedule. Click on events, and here it is right here. July 7th, 8th, and 9th. Platinum OSA Workshop. Atlanta, Georgia. Download the agenda. The Orlando event's coming up next week. It's already full. So we don't really have any more room. Anyway, looking forward to seeing everybody then, and really looking forward to the Platinum OSA Workshop. I love those things. We'll give it all we got. It's just a classroom of here's the system, step by step by step. Great. Okay, so let's get back to our day today, and let me introduce you to our very special guest. Here he is right here. His name's Mr. Tracy King. Now, I'm going to open up Tracy's microphone here momentarily, but let me just reiterate what I said about Tracy. Tracy's right just north of me, just a little ways, 4 hours, if that, in a town called Sevierville, Tennessee. If you've ever been to Dollywood, then you were right there in his backyard. And if you haven't been to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, or Sevierville area of Tennessee, the Great Smoky Mountains there, you need to put that on your list of places to go. It's a really neat place, beautiful country, and great people, and just a lot of fun there. Dollywood's place is a great place to take the kids to, good family vacation. So I've been there many times and can't say enough about it. As a matter of fact, I learned how to snow ski at Ober-Gatlinburg in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Okay, now, Tracy here, when I first met him, he's doing a pretty good job. His business is crazy big now, and but he's a great implementer. So I was talking to Tracy in the pre-conference. I said, look, you're getting a lot of listings. Okay, as a matter of fact, he has 176 active listings right now today. How many of you have 176 active listings? There's a couple of you, not many, but that's a lot of active listings, okay? So it's hard to fail when you have that many active listings in a pretty good marketplace, right? So wouldn't you like to know what Tracy's doing to get so many seller prospects to say, hey, I want you to sell my house for me? Okay, well, that's what we're going to do today. And you're going to see a common theme throughout our conversation here over the next 30 to 45 minutes. If you've got questions, you'll be able to ask Tracy. So get those ready, and you can raise your hand. We'll open up your microphone a little bit. But with that, let me bring on here Mr. Tracy King. Tracy, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Todd?
Good, man. So I'm into what I said a little bit ago. Whenever I talk to you, you always brighten my day. You're never negative. You're a super positive guy. You got a great family business here going. You've got your wife involved, your son-in-law, daughter. You've got a lot of stuff going on here. And you were telling me a little bit in the pre-conference about what was happening with your team. But let's share that with everybody. Just tell everybody kind of where you are right now with your business and what it looks like, what you're expected to do this year, and gross commission income, so we can get an idea of who you are and what's happening.
Okay. Well, first, we have a team of 12 outside sales agents, not counting my wife or I, and we have 3 ISAs, and we're at a 4th ISA, which starts next week. We generate monthly between all the advertising that we do, Commissions Inc., all the direct mail, all those things Todd will be talking about, but we generate over 1,000 leads a month. So we generate a lot. And then we have 100 and, like Todd said, 170 something current active listings. Currently we've got about 39 or so pending for this month in June. We're going to probably do, well, not probably, we're all targeting to do $3 million in gross commissions. That's our target, that's our goal. We are at 181 sales so far this year, and our target is to hit 500. So we got to pick up the pace a little bit to make that go.
Yeah, but you've got since really we got together and we started working on your business here, you've had an upward trajectory, so it's not like, we're 5 months through and we're a little off the pace. Based on your trajectory of growth in your business, there's no reason that probably won't happen. You're going to get pretty darn close to it anyway. But let me ask you, that's a lot of transactions. What's the thing, or maybe it's not a thing, maybe it's people, what do you need to ensure that happens?
Well, you need people.
Yeah, okay. So, you're kind of in the country there. It's not like you're in Atlanta, 4.5 million people.
No.
So I'm thinking that there's not a lot of real estate agents for you to recruit and pick from. How's that work kind of in a smaller marketplace like yours?
Well, I got created, and what we did is we went after people who had talent. And we started searching out talented people, people who had some kind of a sales background. So we picked up, well, for instance, I picked up one guy who used to work at Verizon. He's one of our top salespeople. I picked up two more people who used to be in the restaurant business here. They were managers at a restaurant, and they're quickly rising to the top. So we just went after and searched after talent. And with the training that we have and all the tools that we have with the coaching program, I didn't have to teach them how to get rid of bad habits. So it made it easier for them to grasp and buy into, but it is a longer process to get there.
Okay. All right. So makes perfect sense to me. So you're not opposed to grabbing people who aren't in real estate right now, but you believe they're pretty good at selling. So you pitch them a different career direction, and for some of them they say yeah, and you plug them right into your training. I don't think it takes too long to get a real estate license, but there is a process they got to go through. But what about the other sides of it? Like they don't know how to use the MLS. They don't know how to read, write, purchase, and sell agreements, do CMAs, and those kinds of things. So what about that training? I get training on the Craig Proctor system and the presentations and the scripting and all that. I get that. But the other side of it, the business side of it, like I mentioned, MLS.
The day-to-day stuff. Okay, so our onboarding is like this. We bring them on board. Oftentimes they're in the process of getting their license. We'll bring them on board and we'll start them in the ISA department. And they'll get a good handle on how to talk to people, what we're doing. And then in that, also we're training them how to write purchase and sell agreements, how to search the MLS, how to use the state website to log in to do your listings and all those things. So that whole process, they're learning while they're working as an ISA, and we're paying them to be an ISA. They're making appointments. It's really a good process to run them through. They get a really good understanding of how we operate, and it just really helps introduce them into the real estate market. But we have a really good onboarding. I have a trainer, that's Tanner, and he trains the OSAs, and he does a really good job with that.
Tanner's your was it son-in-law?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how's it work? How's it going? Obviously it's going well, but what are some of the challenges you might run into when you have so much family under one roof?
Well, it can be challenging. Actually, it's been really great. Tanner and I, and Chris, we all three get along really well. So it's the same. We all have the same kind of mindset, same goals. It's not really been that big of a challenge. We did have one of our daughters working for us, but that didn't work out. So sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah, I get it. And I was wondering, because I know that I've got a lot of family people, and I can see where I'd love to have some of them working with business, and some of them I wouldn't want nowhere near it. So, but it's like anything, in life, in people. So, but you're right. Having people on your real estate sales team that you can trust, that you're in alignment with, I think those are hiring prerequisites. And the other side of it is, the other big nugget I got from you is like, if they can sell, they can sell real estate. So I like that. Okay. All right. So most people are on the webinar right now because in our promo we talked about your ability to command listings. It's not your ability to get a few listings here and there, dude. You command getting listings in your marketplace. You guys dominate in that area. You have 176 active listings right now. That's a lot of listings. So everybody's primarily jumped on here to hear about that. We're going to talk about other things. But I threw up here a marketing piece because I think we can probably agree that you don't get that number of listings without marketing, without efforts into marketing, consistent marketing. How many marketing systems would you say that you have right now that are primarily aimed at directly to get listings?
Oh goodness. Let's see. There's 1, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 direct mail pieces. We have radio. We have, of course, Seller Suite on the Commissions Inc. We run Facebook ads, and we use the Vortex for expired listings. We target expired listings, calling and mailing.
Okay, so you're pretty close here to 7 real marketing systems to get listings, and that's big. So let's talk about some of the things that you sent me here. I'm seeing a common theme, Tracy, with the majority of your branded marketing. Okay, and I want everybody to be aware of it. And this will be, it might be a discovery for some watching the webinar today. For some, it won't be, but it'll be evidence of what you need to do on a consistent basis to ensure yourself of consistent flow or opportunity of consistent flow of listings. And that is that you are the agent with the buyers who want to buy homes in the area. So you've done a pretty good job of consistently putting that message out into the marketplace on virtually all, if not all, of your branded marketing pieces. So I'm making an assumption that you didn't do that 4 years ago.
No. No. I had no clue how to get listings rather than just people, just calling me. I didn't do any direct mail. I did nothing.
Okay, so which means that within a short period of time here, a couple of years or so, 2.5 years, you've implemented a lot. In other words, there's people that are on the webinar or maybe watching it in the future, Tracy. They've been in this business for 10 years, 20 years, and they're at the same place they were, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. There's been no change in their business. Okay, but here you go from doing pretty well to making upwards of $3 million in commission income within 2 or 3 years here, and you're attributing it to marketing, primarily telling the prospects in the marketplace that you're the agent with the buyers, and then backing that up with, of course, the guaranteed sale program. So tell us a little bit about, we'll look at the marketing pieces, talk about the specifics here, but I just want to hear more about that, because that's a pretty big shift, being there now and not being there just a few years ago. And now your belief is like that's the more you tell that story, the more business you get. But give me some insights into that. I just want to know what your frame of mind is and why you're pursuing it.
Well, I guess I'm really a little bit confused on the question you have.
Well, I get it, because it's just what you do now.
Yeah, this is the reason. I don't understand why you wouldn't go after.
Well, that's a pretty good. Well, that's a good question. But a few years ago, you didn't.
Well, you're right. It's because I didn't know how. So joining the program.
Right, hold on. There are people right now watching the webinar, Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
They know what it is that we're saying. So as dumb as the question sounds, like, okay, like, why are you doing that? And it's like, well, because it works. At some point, though, you made a decision to do it. You made a decision to say, hey, I'm the agent with the buyers. If we don't sell your home, we'll buy it. You made a decision to do it. There are people in the webinar right now who have been hearing this for years and years and years. So how long did it take you then from the time you were first introduced to the concept, the system here, to actually turning around and doing it?
Well, I can tell you when it happened. Our first conference was down in Fort Lauderdale, and it was in April of 2012. And we just joined the program a few months before, and we went and visited Tim and Rosanna Johnson's office they had at that point. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I walked through that office, I just started clicking. And then I started talking to the other Platinum members, and they're all telling me about, just your home sold guarantee, and just do it. It's easy. You just got to go do it. So I came home, talked to you, and we just implemented it.
All right. So you didn't take long to do things. In other words, you saw evidence that it worked, and you did it. So that's what I'm hoping happens with this webinar today, and that's why I'm setting it up this way. if you're gonna, there's a few hundred people on the webinar. If you're gonna make time to be on this thing and watch and listen, it's a reason for it. You don't. How often do you need to see and hear the same things before you actually do something about it, right? So for you, not very long. You're a fast implementer, and the proof is evident. Okay, great job. Thanks for playing along there. All right, helping me make my coaching point, I guess you might say. All right, so let's take a look at some of the direct mail you got going here. Tell me how it works, where it goes to. So here's a postcard you sent out. It says, we've got a buyer that wants to buy your Smoky Mountain home. And you even go as far as to say your client's pre-approved for financing and stuff like that. How are you able to make such a claim?
How am I going to make it such? Well, I have a database full of buyers in my database. So, goodness gracious, I've got thousands of them. So it wouldn't be. It's not a big thing for me to make that claim. I can back it up.
Okay. Right. It's not a big deal for you to make the claim. Of course, a few years ago it would have been, even though you still had buyers in your database at that time. You never really thought about telling the story of, hey, sellers, I'm the agent with the buyers, and I got buyers in my database that are ready to buy, that pre-approved, and all those good things. So now you're on to it, and now
it's just like you said, it's about telling the story.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I flipped the card over here, and it's a little deeper message. Matter of fact, you give the prospect two options. Option one, let me see if I can grab my highlighter pen and I can draw people's attention to that. It says option one, find out what the buyer will pay at getmyprice.org. And I'm guessing that's a home evaluation landing page, or what is that?
Yeah, it's not really a home valuation. It's basically a valuation. It's a landing page that just asks them for their basic information on the property. So yeah, it's kind of like the valuation page, yeah.
All right. Option number two, I can call you directly to discuss the sale of my home. And then you tell me what's going to happen when I call, which is great. Free, no obligation. This is what you can expect. I like that. That's really good. Okay. So a pretty simple marketing piece here, and very easy to understand and clear. Who does this go to?
All right. So you'll see also on the other side there, it says sold my cabin 11 as a testimonial. And I use the word cabin. So you've got it on both sides. So I've got one testimony on one side and another testimony on the other side. But it talks about cabins because that's what we have mostly up here that people own is the log home investment type property. So I have a list that we bought, and we target just that list. So these are people who own a second home or investment property that may live in or out of the area. It doesn't matter. It's just a non-owner occupant property that matches what we're trying to list. So that's who we target.
So how big is that list?
It's about 14,000.
Okay, so 14,000 non-owner occupied properties. You call them cabins, and that's what they call them. So it makes sense. So are these are second homes or investors?
That's
vacation homes for people that are there in the Smoky Mountains. So somehow you got a list of all the people that own them. That took some work, I'm guessing.
Took a phone call.
Okay, so yeah, it was funny because you said, well, what do I need to do to get a list on it? There are people right now that are watching the webinar that have the same opportunity in the marketplace, and they say, well, I would need a list, and I don't know how to get the list, so they don't do anything about it. And then days go by, weeks go by, months go by, years go by. They still have the same idea because they maybe heard it here, but they just don't take the action necessary. So let's talk about that because that's a pretty good tip, at least just being an entrepreneur or business person.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I get an idea about something or I hear it here from Craig and it's part of the system because we can overlook all these things, I write it down, man. I got my notepad right here on my desk, and we've got several pages ongoing. So I write it down because if I don't, I kind of forget about it, and because I got so much going on in my head here. So I write it down, and then I refer back to my notepad here. That keeps me engaged with what I need to be doing. What's on my computer, and this is a big deal, Tracy. I don't know if this is the case for you, but what's on my computer, like email, is not what I need to be doing.
Right.
What's on my notepad is what I need to be doing.
Yeah.
All right, so it's a battle, because you got emails here from people like you that are important. I gotta get to those. But on my notepad is what makes me money. All right, so
I use I call it implementation spreadsheet.
There you go. That's exactly right. So and then I look at my notepad and I'm like, okay, well, how do I get this thing going? Typically, it involves me getting up out of my desk and going here and asking one of the people that are way smarter at figuring things out or learning how to do something or finding lists or something. I just tell them and they go and do it. Or I start with Google, for example. So in this case, you made a call and you got a list of everybody who owns a property or a good bit of them, 12 or 14,000 you said, and their home addresses, so you can send these cards directly to where they live versus the property address. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the key. You don't want to send it to anywhere but where they reside.
Okay, I like that. All right, so let's look at another card that you have. This card's pretty good. It's not anything that I think is new to people, but it's a continuation of the same message, but it looks a little bit different. Your home sold guaranteed or I'll buy it. Your home sold guaranteed or I'll buy it. You're giving some reasons why beyond just the guaranteed sell program for people to contact you. I've got some third-party endorsement on here, I see. I like that. So people are asking questions right now. We're going to take those questions here in a moment. So anyway, and I promise you that we'll be out of here by 5, so you can get back to your appointment. So let's talk about this. So this kind of marketing, this kind of messaging, where is this going?
All right, this is going to residential homes. This is in Knoxville area and Sevier County. So we're targeting certain mail routes that we want in a zip code, and we use this card. It's a brand. I call it. It's a branded postcard, and then of course we have the unbranded postcard. So we're hitting them with the branded and unbranded card, along with we're on the radio. So that's what you circled a minute ago on that other page. The radio stations. We were just talking about the third-party endorsements.
All right, so let's make a list here. All right, so we got direct mail to homeowners that own properties in your marketplace, but they don't necessarily live there. So you're telling them you got a buyer specifically for their house there, and you're direct mailing those. You got a list for that. Great. You got farming going on. Okay, so you got a branded card and a less branded card to the farming area. Okay, so what's the difference between the farming area and the direct mail to your targeted list that we just discussed?
Well, the difference is the properties. Well, the people who own those properties don't live in that mailing area, so you have to find a way to get that into their hands. So I went and bought a list that gives me their actual residential, where they live, so I can get that postcard in their hand. These other ones were just sent by mail route and zip code, and they just blast, it's sort of kind of like a shotgun blast going through that particular zip code.
Gotcha. Okay, so what would you say is the combined total? How many people are getting your message here of your home sold guaranteed or buy it? You're the agent with the buyers. How many people are getting that message directly every month by mail, not including the follow-up?
Okay, just these 2 postcards alone, that's running close to about 20,000 people.
Okay, 20,000. Got it. Okay. All right. Check. Now, I'm assuming that when you started this process out, you didn't just one day say, "Hey, I want to send this out. Let me go send it to 20,000 people." You started with a different number.
Oh yeah, way down. I started with 5,000. Actually, I started with 10,000. Blew up the. It overwhelmed us. We couldn't take it, so I cut it down to 5,000.
Yeah. What overwhelmed you? You just couldn't get to the lead?
Yeah, we just couldn't. We just could not get back. Yeah, the response was so overwhelming. I couldn't. The first time I mailed it out, I took 40 listings by myself. Okay. I just couldn't anymore, and I didn't have the staff or the people to handle anymore. So I cut that mailing back a little bit. Now we're staffed up. We can handle it. Of course, we've increased that amount that we mail out.
I got you. Good. See, while we're talking, you got a lot of people emailing you right now.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
I was saying, I got Tracy's email. Let me just email him while we're in the middle of the webinar.
Yeah.
Actually, or that's all the sellers that are emailing you saying, "Hey, come list me."
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
It's a lot like that. I mean, we really weed out our competition. It's just, it's very common for us to go in and they tell us we're not talking to any other agents. I mean, it makes it so easy.
Yeah. Well, look here. I get it, and I think I remember having that original conversation with you. Could have it backwards, but I knew in a marketplace like your area, it was really devoid of leading edge marketing like this. It was mostly saturated with the traditional run of the mill stuff that is common with the industry. So great job on that. All right, so let's continue. So we got our direct mail going. What are some of the other radio? You said.
Yes.
Okay, got radio going, and how many stations? One, two?
We're on 3.
3 different radio stations there. Okay. Does that reach over into Knoxville too? Knoxville's a bigger city.
Well, they're all 3 in Knoxville. So okay. We have a very small radio station here, and I tried it, just didn't work. So we went over to Knoxville, and now we're on 3 stations, and we cover the entire East Tennessee region. I even get people calling me out of Kentucky, wanting to know if I'll sell their house.
Well, you can.
I just refer.
Yeah, I know you definitely refer those out. So, yeah, that's what a lot of people think. That radio has a big reach. They're going to get leads out of their marketplace. I don't want that. And I'm like, well, you can monetize. Yeah, you can monetize just about every prospect that you generate from radio and television. So, and sometimes the referral fees alone will pay for the airtime, and then the direct business is gravy. So, okay, great. Now, for everybody who doesn't know, the city of Knoxville, Tennessee is home of the University of Tennessee Southeastern Conference. So, just in case people weren't aware of that.
Yep. Right. Go Big Orange. Hey, they're picked to win the SEC East this year. We'll see.
The house that Peyton Manning built.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. And everybody knows who Peyton Manning is, but they just may not remember where he played college football.
Oh.
Alrighty, so let's move on to the other marketing systems that you got rolling here for to get listings. Okay, so we talked about radio. What's next?
Well, we do newspaper ads. We do the display ads. We pepper them through the local paper, and then we do editorial.
Okay, the editorial ads and the display ads to targeting seller prospects. Those will be less branded leads. All right, so and I'm guessing that the majority of those prospects, they're not really ready to list their home today. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so what do you do?
Well, we have most of them will call the 800 number and leave their info, and we'll just follow back up with them, and then we put them in our system, and we'll add them. I add everyone to my direct mail. I usually will just put them in, let them get the expired letter campaign.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
Okay.
So this is important. Okay, so what's happening, what I'm seeing happen here is I'm seeing you get business directly from your unique selling proposition marketing, which is you're the agent with the buyers, your home will sell guaranteed or I'll buy it. Okay, and then when you get leads from other mechanisms that aren't ready, like less branded marketing, that aren't ready to make a move right now, then you turn around and follow up with them with the USP and branded message, which is the way it's supposed to be done. Okay? So great job. So the next marketing piece you mentioned was direct mail to expired listings. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay, that's the 6 mailings. We send out 1 mailing per week, and it has you have the one main letter, and then you have inserts that go along with each one that you send out, along with, all kinds of information that's on there. So there's the Dan Kennedy letters is what it is, and so you insert those, and you make sure that you put your contact information on each one of those, because you taught me this when they start separating one section of the insert.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing that. I haven't done the not yet. I haven't done the branded envelopes yet. I've just been doing the color coded envelopes.
Yeah, I don't know if I would change. I don't know if I would be changing. I'm hearing a little bit of an echo there. So be careful about that.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, I went and made a note here. Hang on one second. I'm going to mute you. I was getting a little bit of feedback. Andrew, did you hear that?
Yes.
We'll make sure it wasn't just me. Okay. So I was hearing myself through the speakers on your computer there, Tracy. So I just muted you for a second so I could draw people's attention to what you were talking about. Okay, so Tracy's here saying that he's direct mailing expired listings. Okay, no problem. You can do that in the United States all day long. Most of Canada, you can do that. There's certain MLS boards, and sometimes they try to regulate those kinds of things. So you got to figure out how to get around that. But if you want to know what you should be mailing them, well, we've got a coaching site here and a library, Platinum Expired FSBO Solar Prospect Direct Mail Library. And what Tracy's sending them is this right here, ID 1335. I call it a good mailing example. It's kind of incognito there. But that's what he's sending. It's a 4-page newsletter, or sales letter rather. And it just has your unique selling propositions in there. You're the agent with the buyers. You sell homes for more money. You sell them in less time. They're more likely to sell, so statistical USPs. It also has third-party endorsements, social proof, other people saying that you're great, like testimonials. So it's really good, but it doesn't just go out by itself. What Tracy was saying here. Let me erase my drawing and get my highlighter back out. Is that he's including some extra stuff, inserts inside the newsletter, primarily are Dan Kennedy materials. Okay? So, awesome. So yeah, I'm a big proponent of direct mail, and I'm glad Tracy's getting great experience with it. Now, let me say this about it, and I'll go back and open up your microphone, Trace, but you may pull this stuff down from our system here, you being everybody watching today's webinar, listening, and you may just, boom, you blast it out there, and maybe it doesn't work so well. Okay, there are lots of factors why. The crowd in the mailbox, the culture of the marketplace, but man, when you get direct mail figured out, because we've got enough here. I mean, look, this is just one library with direct mail content. Okay, let me erase my drawings, but it's just one library. That's a lot of really good stuff targeting FSBOs and expires. We've got more. It's not all here on the coaching site because I've got members, probably about 24 tests going on right now in the Platinum program with direct mail, people that I talk to, forward materials to, and communicate with, and it's all designed to make sure that when we get to the conferences, we're delivering to you the very latest and greatest stuff that's working really well. So, but man, once you get it figured out, it's a freaking jackpot. Okay? All right, so let's go back to Tracy. Tracy, what do we leave off the list that we didn't cover that you're doing to get listings?
Okay, there's a couple other things. I do referral newsletters. People refer us to other people who have properties here in the area to list. Mm-hmm. And of course, our past clients. We sell a lot of properties, so we stay in touch with those because here in our area, they'll sell a rental or investment property anywhere from every 3 to 5 years. So we want that return business, and those are easy.
Okay, so let me point this out to everyone. This is the Platinum, since you're mentioning that, Tracy. There's a library down here called the Platinum Past Client and Sphere Library. I just clicked on it right here, Platinum Past Client and Sphere. And check it out. Here's the spring newsletter, and the summer one is getting ready to hit the coaching site here, and it should be there Monday or Tuesday, first day of summer. So it's about time to start thinking about getting your summertime quarterly newsletter out to all of your past clients, adopted customers, and Sphere, family, friends, business associates. It's a massive mailing every quarter. Let me mention this to you. You may want to write this down. There are 4 things that you want to do with your past client newsletters. Tracy does a really good job of it. Number 1, extend the relationship. So you're writing to them a little bit. So when you see the summer newsletter, you're going to see that there's a pretty decent article that will make a good connection with your past clients. I'm writing them with you in mind and with the culture of our organization in mind. So I usually use a book as leverage to extend the relationship. I like that. It's universal. You know, typically using a book that people can relate to that impacts their lives. I love using that to extend a relationship. Number two is to make them an offer that if they want to know what homes are selling for in their marketplace, they can ask. They can get them from you using the area home sales report instead of giving them or telling them what everything's selling for. Make an offer for it. Number three, position yourself as an authority on real estate investment property opportunities. So Tracy, I'm going to flip it back over to you, and I know you do a really good job of this because you sell a lot of investment properties. So tell us a little bit about how you're leveraging the investment opportunities in your marketplace to actually get clients coming back and buying business from you, and how that's working.
Well, we have an in-house newsletter that we send to them every quarter. It's a quarterly in-house newsletter, and we talk to them about some of the best buys we have out there. Most of them want a good rental income producing property, and we list those, and we know how to make those happen. So we turn that newsletter into basically helping them build their wealth and show them properties that are currently on the market that they can purchase and add to their portfolio. That's one way. Another way is we have, we'll just stay in touch with them. We will, call them on the phone, find out what their status is, and if they're back in the market looking, and so we just kind of stay in contact with them on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I get it, dude. You're not just staying in contact with them. Like, you're making legitimate offers and giving them reasons to do business with you. The fourth part of the in-house newsletter, which you guys can see a copy of it, becomes a train. So I'm either hearing myself on Tracy's computer, or the damn train's coming by. This is great. We have a great time here in Buford, Georgia.
And you were worried about an open door.
I just have to laugh, man. So anyway, so when you go, I'm not going to open up the newsletter right now. You guys can go. I've got it up here on the screen. You can see the ID numbers in it. But you'll see that the third part, leveraging yourself, positioning yourself as an investor expert. The fourth part is the referral offer. And then, of course, your referral offer, what Tracy's doing here, what he said, he's taking the referral offer directly to his best past clients, all those people that refer him on a pretty consistent basis. He goes right out every month with the Platinum Referral Marketing System. That's pretty good. All right, Tracy. One final question, and then we'll take a couple of questions from the people on our webinar here. We got a bunch of hands raised. You don't just do this. You actually are also leveraging all the business that you're getting from these marketing systems you mentioned. You're leveraging them to turn around and get even more business. So just give us a little bit of insight or talking points or nuggets on how you're leveraging the business you get to get more business.
Okay. Well, one way is our signs, for sale signs. We have what we just implemented is the talking house sign, open house every day sign, and of course our sign with our USP on it. You buy this house, I'll buy yours. So we're leveraging the listings that way. Here in our area, for the cabins especially, it's hard to put in the property data sheets or anything literature-wise in the cabin because the guests just trash them. So we can't really get any leverage there, but we leverage that. We leverage the amount of buyers that we have when we're on listing appointments. When we're out, our marketing, we talk about how many buyers that we have looking to buy property in the area. So that's another way that we leverage our marketing. Of course, we leverage the fact that we're on 3 different radio stations, and they hear us. They're already hearing that. So that's an easy one to leverage.
Okay, I was trying to write all that down. What about syndication?
Syndications, yes, my goodness. We're syndicated on over 100 different real estate property websites, and we show them, I don't know, a list of about 30 of them, but it continues on. It's over 100. But we pick out the top 30, so we're showing that in our presentation. That's been that's a pretty big lick.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay. Awesome, dude. All right, we're running short on time, so let's flip it over to Andrea. Andrea, there's a few hundred people on here. I know we got a lot of questions, so you randomly pick the ones that look interesting here, and we'll try to open up some microphones, but I'll let you take it from there. And Tracy can weigh in, answer some questions here, or if they're for me, I'll do the same. But take it away. We've got about 10 more minutes.
Okay, Harry has typed in a question. In the 3 million GCI, what was his net percent?
Well, my net percent in the 3 million GCI, we're running right around 20%.
Yeah, that's about what is normal. So Harry, I think people are somewhere between 19 and 25% is your net profit. You got to know here that, like Tracy, he probably doesn't go on a lot of appointments himself, so a lot of the production sales are being done by outside sales agents. So when the majority of the business is being done by outside sales agents, your profit margin is going to be a little bit lower than if you were the only agent, right? I would expect if you're a solo agent, your profit margin is going to be extremely higher. But the objective here is, and let me say this because this will benefit some of our newer members. The objective here is to work really hard and do as many appointments as you can, while at the same time leveraging the overflow of your business to other people. And at some point, the money or the income from others, okay, that 20-25% income from others will eventually replace your income or what you need, your net. And then you've got a real honest-to-goodness business, and you'll find that you'll spend more time working on it than in it and able to grow it crazy ways from that point forward. That's a really good question. All right, Andrea, let's take another.
Okay, we have a few questions on... Hold on one second.
Right, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. On how he got started. So I'll go with Tammy's. When he started, how did he decide which system to begin with? Because it can become overwhelming.
Tracy, what'd you start with?
That's a great question, and I tell new members when I see them, we're talking all the time, I always tell them this: pick out one thing that's going to impact your business the most. And for me, when Todd and I were talking, I picked out 5, but the first thing I implemented was the expired letter program, because we had a lot of expireds in our market. And so I picked that, and I got it going, got it running. It started working well, and then I just started. And then I picked the second thing, which is the the postcard that we mail out to out-of-area owners, and that's the second thing I implemented. And I just wait and when you implement something, make sure you got it down and got it going, and then implement the next thing.
Yeah, I think that's a big problem. So people just they get stuck and they don't implement. The business kind of runs them, and that's not a good place to be. You want to make sure that you're, quote, running the business. You're in charge. So I think that everybody watching the webinar every day should have dedicated time to working on your business. You make appointments with yourself to work on implementation, and when you do, you'll figure out ways to get stuff done. So I was talking with an agent the other day. They're trying to get the Dan Kennedy follow-up materials together, the whole follow-up system, and they're the ones in their spare time trying to put these materials together. And I says, well, if you would spend your time thinking about how to get somebody else to put them together, then you'd be able to get more implemented. So, send them over to some person at Fiverr along with your logo and picture, and go back and forth with them. It costs you $15, $20, and you get them all done. It might even look better. since we're not necessarily publisher program experts and stuff like that. So that's a good question. Really good advice, Tracy. Thank you. All right, so let's go to another one there, Andrea.
Okay, Graham is asking, how many days a week are you working now?
Unmuted.
Well, I like working. I work 5 days a week. My wife works 4, and she would prefer to have less of that. She likes to spend more time with the grandkids, but I like it working. I enjoy it. I work 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. I rarely work weekends, and I normally work 1 day out of the week at my home, and that's when I concentrate on all of my systems, tweaking those, and doing implementation.
You know, it's pretty interesting is that it's a commonality among our most successful members using our system here is they enjoy it. They like working. And I'm the same way. Like I wake up in the morning eager to get to work, 7 a.m. this morning, and no reason for it other than to get here and be here and work on things. So I get it. Craig's like that as well. He was practically retired living in Sarasota, and it got the best of him and says, I got to get back to work. So it's a commonality among our most successful members. So excellent. Okay, we still got time for another one there, Andrea. Any other good ones?
Okay, we have a lot of hands raised, and I don't want to leave those members out. So let's go to John Brackett. Your line is now open. John? Okay, we'll move on to Carol Royce. Your line is now open.
Carol, I can't hear you.
Carol?
You know what I hear? Nothing.
Strike 2. Okay, let's try one more time with the audio question.
If it can be strike 3.
Let's see. Mario Daniel Sconza. I'll be surprised if he's not there. Mario?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, and thank you very much, and congratulations on your tremendous success. The question here is, with the benefit of hindsight, is there anything you would have done sooner or not at all?
Unmuted.
Hindsight, sooner I would have joined the coaching program as soon. I wish I found it sooner. That's one. I think that I guess one I would stress is to really look at your business, really know your marketplace, and really think about what are some of the things marketing-wise that you can implement that's really going to impact your bottom line the fastest. So to me, once I started really thinking that way, implementation became easy. And it wasn't a chore or it wasn't hard. I just like, okay, this is really going to help. Boom, we did it. We got it going. And the return on investment was very quickly.
Okay, so that's pretty interesting. I will say this about Mario, since you're there, Mario. I've got you sent me this text the other day. What was it? Let me find it here. I've got it here somewhere. Here it is. Okay, this is Andrea and everybody. This is what Mario sent me the other day. I don't know where I'm at. I'm just minding my own business. My phone goes off. It's Mario Sconza. He says, if I do not sacrifice for what I want becomes the sacrifice. Carpe diem. So anyway, I was like, hey, I like that. It was pretty good. It came at a good time for me. So I appreciate you sharing that thought at that moment in time there, Mr. Mario.
Most welcome. Thank you. Thank you for everything.
Yep, great job. All right. Andrea, we got time for one more.
Okay, I'll go with the chat question. Marley, what was the message that you sent on your first postcard?
Muted.
Pretty much the one you saw in here. I think the only thing that we changed, Todd helped me prove it more, is we added our testimonials and we added our third party, which is on this one we didn't have any third. This one is our that you're seeing on the screen is where we added the testimonials of people that we sold their cabins very quickly. And then on this postcard that we're showing, we added that picture there with it. We sold that one client, and then you have our as heard on those 3 radio stations. And our statistics. Go back to that one where we have our stats, Todd. Yeah, that one. we get more money, we sell faster, and you're more likely to sell. That was, I think, a big deal for us.
Couple of things here, Tracy, on these cards. They're working pretty well. If I throw up the other card, let me erase my drawings. Throw up the other card real fast here. Where is it? Here we go. You could probably get a little more mileage out of just by demonstration. You got Steve here on this testimonial. I'd probably put Steve's picture up there, or at least a picture of Steve's cabin, since that's what you're trying to get anyway. Maybe Steve's cabin, or a cabin like Steve's, on that side, maybe the other side as well. Same thing here with Chris. Maybe a picture of their cabin, if it represents typically the kinds of cabins that you're trying to list or whatever. If I was trying to list homes that were, say, luxury, it wouldn't do me much good to put pictures of first-time home buyer houses on my marketing materials. But anyway, something you might could think about there, a little more demonstration of value. But anyway, look, man, I always want to thank you for making time out of your very busy schedule to be on the webinar today. You are awesome and an inspiration to many. Any parting thoughts or words?
Well, Chris and I are very, very thankful that we tripped across Greg Proctor program, and Todd, we thank you for pouring into our lives, and we are very grateful for it. And that goes along with all the other people in the Platinum program and the Titanium program. Great people, and we really enjoy it. And also, it's just been very impacting to our lives, and we're grateful.
All right. Well, you are the man. So I'm going to let you get back to work. Thanks again, Andrea. As always, you're the best operator in the nation.
Thank you.
So, yeah, tell Craig that to give you a raise, and we'll be good. So, all right. So with that, I'm looking forward to seeing everyone in Orlando next week, Monday and Tuesday. It's going to be a great Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It's going to be a fantastic Millionaire Agent Boot Camp. We've got the Platinum OSA workshop coming up in July. I mentioned that. Threw the flyer up on that deal. So I'll throw that up there again, and we'll wrap up the webinar with that on the screen. Make plans to get you and your outside sales agents there. Limit 3 per team, please. All right. So with that, it's going to wrap it up for today. Let's go sell some houses. Talk to you guys soon now. Thanks.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Have a wonderful afternoon.